Every now and then I like a really comforting dish. The great thing about this recipe is that you're gonna get the comforting factors, but it's actually vegan. And I've already soaked and drained my cashews. Just throw them in there. I'm gonna add just a touch of red wine vinegar. That's gonna give the cream a little bit of a kick. And just a little pinch of salt to make that flavor really stand out. And just the last step to the cashew cream, a little bit of water so it emulsifies. There you go. Now, I know that this is completed and finished because it's super smooth in texture. It just kind of falls right out. It's not too runny, but it actually has the consistency of a sour cream would when at room temperature. Now the centerpiece of this dish are the mushrooms. Mushrooms have that umami flavor, that flavor that just spreads all the other flavors even further. I didn't actually wash these mushrooms. Washing them tends to make them almost wilt a little bit. So I simply just grabbed a towel and just wiped off the exterior to remove any of the excess dirt. And shallots, just like any other onion, you know, they have that spice, but they just kind of lead the pack when it comes to onions and have just a little bit extra body. Now that I have my mushrooms and onions in a hot pan, what's gonna happen is the mushrooms are gonna start to sweat and my onions are gonna start to caramelize. Onions are full of liquid and they have natural sugar, so the heat is gonna pull the sugar out of my onions and kind of create that caramel effect on the bottom of my pan, and that's the good tasting stuff. So I'm gonna let that happen. I don't need to worry about putting liquid in right now. I'll just be patient and let it take its course. My onions have started to turn brown and they're more translucent, so now it's time to hit it with a little veggie broth. And the veggie broth is actually deglazing the pan. It's taking the sugar and kind of mixing it back into all the dish. And now it's time to add the rest of our spices. I'm gonna have some paprika in there, about a tablespoon of mustard, and lastly some cracked pepper. And finish off the rest of the veggie broth. Our dish has been simmering for about 20 minutes. It's time to fold in my cashew cream. And after I've added about half, I'm gonna put it aside for passing at the table later. With the caramelized shallots and the mushrooms, the paprika, Dijon, all come together to make a really nice fragrant smell, and now the cashew cream has given that richness, so it just looks comforting to me. Now I'm gonna put just a little bit of parsley on top. It's gonna add a little bit of color and a great flavor to finish it off. And I tell you what, this dish isn't gonna last very long in my house. So something that I like to do at home if I have a little excess of my cashew cream, I like to take it to the next level and do something a little fancy with it, especially if I'm hosting. I'm just gonna decorate my dish with it, and it's simple as getting the cashew cream out, finding an empty bag. This one's really large, so I'm gonna end up cutting it, but then I'm gonna use this piping style to decorate my dish. I'm just gonna bunch up the bag. I'm just gonna cut a small snip so I have a really controlled line. Voila! Delicious and nutritious mushroom stroganoff.